So let's talk about some of the lifestyle issues that are drivers of back pain. The first one is postural awareness. We live in a society now where there's lots of sitting and people are not aware of their posture when they're sitting. They're also not aware of their posture when they're walking around, whether they're walking on the golf course or just some of their day-to-day activities. And part of that's driven by what? Well, the smartphone, the rise of the smartphone. What do we see people doing all day? Hunched over like this, right? They're in their phone, they're doing stuff, and you're going to be hunched over, doing that thing, working that phone, and you're not aware of your posture. Or sitting for prolonged periods, maybe you're at your desk, or you're watching some favorite program, or your sports on TV, and you're not aware of how you're sitting. See a lot of this with people where they just kind of lounge around, trying to get comfortable, right? Bending forward, got their feet crossed, kind of just getting sloppy with the posture, or maybe you got you're leaning back with one foot up for an extended period of time. That's causing problems. That's kind of gluing your fascia into positions that are going to restrict your movement. You're sitting around too much and you're not sitting with good posture. And just being aware of that too on the golf course, how you're standing on the golf course. Maybe you're waiting on the tee, right? You're waiting to hit your next shot. The group up ahead, you're waiting for them to go, and you got your club out, right? And you're standing around like that. Oh, I wish that group would get going, and look how I'm standing here. I'm kind of leaning to one side there, putting excessive strain on one part of the body. Or standing, with your feet kind of splayed apart. I got one foot out like that. Again, putting extra strain on the body, or not walking effectively, walking with your feet splayed out, kind of walking sloppy. For those of you that use a pull cart when you play, or a push cart, it's meant to be pushed, and it's meant to be pushed with good posture. What do you see a lot of golfers doing? Hunched. They're kind of pushing it along. They're using their upper chest and they're using their arms to push it rather than practicing, being aware of the posture where they are and pushing it with their legs and core. So you're in a little bit more upright position with the chest up and walking in good posture to push that cart along. So this way you can engage it with your core and your legs. It's more efficient rather than up here with the upper body. Or if you're riding in a golf cart, right? Slouched over in the golf cart, going along like that, hunched over, rather than sitting back in good posture and just being aware of it. And these things accumulate over time and they're going to affect your mobility. Next thing you know, on the back nine, I'm not turning as well. I'm kind of struggling with that. I'm kind of losing distance. And then the next thing you know, I'm going to start hitting the ball harder and trying to force it because you're trying to get your distance back. And then next thing you know, you hurt and injure yourself. Your back has to compensate for the lack of body rotation. You're hunched over in your bad posture. You're collapsing in the core. You can't turn. Next thing you know, you hurt yourself. So posture aware is very, very important. And it's not about being perfectly straight and erect. That's not good either. But just being aware of where you're at with your upper body. How am I standing? Am I reasonably level and tall? I'm waiting on the tee. I'm gonna stand around like this. I'm not gonna get slouched. I want to be up here. And then this way too, I can breathe properly. When I'm standing up in good posture, I can breathe better. I can breathe in diaphragmatically. I can expand my chest as I breathe, breathing in all the way down to my belly, expanding my belly, opening up a little bit more. Makes it easier to turn and easier to move. So posture awareness is something that we want to practice. Just be aware of how we're sitting, how we're standing in our day-to-day activities, because that has an impact on our functional mobility.